Good afternoon, Alan Vandenberg here, another episode of EQ for You. Today's episode is entitled Abundance Mentality. We're operating off the idea that 75% of a personal or team success is not their IQ. If you have not done so, pick up a copy of my book, EQ Killed the Radio Star. Here, let me get this. Not a problem. Here it is, EQ Killed the Radio Star. It's available at alanvandenberg.com, barnesandnoble.com, and amazon.com. Be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel as well, and would love to talk to you. If you are looking for a keynote speaker for your organization or your group or your team, please give me a shout, PM me. I'd love to talk to you about bringing a fun and a very highly effective, energized session around emotional intelligence to your organization. We added a new segment in the last episode number 32, and that is EQ IQ Music Row, where we discuss artists that are in my records, CD, tape, I don't have any tapes, but audio file collection from the lens of EQ and IQ perspective. So my hope is that I'll introduce you to some people that you may have not heard of before. So today I want to introduce you to my favorite 1A, my favorite guitar player. My favorite guitar player is Lee Ritenour. My second favorite guitar player is this gentleman right here. His name is Mike Roe. He is out of Sacramento, California, and is part of the band the 77's and also the Lost Dogs. He's been a main member of at least 45 albums that I can count of, and a producer and a session player for countless other albums. He's a guitar player that can play, again, almost anything, jazz, rock, blues, whatever. And today I wanted to introduce you to a couple of different CDs that he has put out, a couple of my favorite ones. This first one came out in 1992, and it's called Pray Naked. It looks like that. It's just a great record, a great album. Has a lot of rock stuff and also some good, just some great music there. And of course, you know, because he's my favorite guitar player, I have to do two of them. And so the second one I would recommend is this one right here, and that is Safe as Milk. This right here is an absolute masterpiece. Love the song Ache Beautiful and Smile. So I'll put some links up on that. So from an EQ and IQ perspective, EQ perspective, obviously Mike Roe is just a great guy. I was fortunate enough a few years back, my wife Nancy hired Michael Roe to play at my birthday party. It was the funnest thing ever. I actually got to meet him, hang out with him. I actually got to play 4 or 5 songs with him in front of my whole family and friends. It was the greatest thing ever. So from an EQ perspective, Mike Roe, he's gonna get a 5. And from a talent perspective and IQ perspective, he's gonna get a 5 as well. So way out of my league as a guitar player. I still can't believe I got the chance to play with Mike Roe live and in person. It was just so much fun, and so wanted to introduce him to you, and check him out. He's great. I'll put some links on the YouTube in the notes. So today's episode, Abundance Mentality. In the book EQ Killed the Radio Star, in chapter 1, I discussed the freedom to choose. That freedom to choose is the foundation for emotional intelligence and EQ, emotional quotient. Making and acting on your choices, your mindset, and your behavior. Abundance mentality versus scarcity mentality. The first time I came across this concept was in Stephen Covey's book, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. In more recent years, I attended a neuroscience leadership certification where they continued the discussion around this abundance versus scarcity mentality. So what is abundance mentality? Abundance mentality, there is enough for everyone, versus scarcity mentality, I have to get mine first. Acting out of love versus acting out of fear. Scarcity mentality in leadership, it shows up when I do this exercise called Best Boss, Worst Boss. As a leadership coach for almost 20 years, I have seen a lot. Most of the EQ leaders that I've been around have been very positive, some not so much. Why would a high-level leader not want to recognize their team EQ skill? Why would a high-level leader allow their ego and overconfidence to crush the spirit of people that work for them? Low EQ behavior. Why would a leader focus only on themselves and not on their team? Again, scarcity mentality, low EQ. I'm taking care of me only. That mindset is a scarcity mentality. Leadership power and ego behaviors are amazing to observe. They have already reached high levels of success, these leaders. They've reached these high levels of success, but it's not enough for them, so they continue with their scarcity mentality. For high EQ leaders who focus more on abundance mentality, this is what that looks like. Leaders who are willing to share their success, grow, and support others to be successful. One of my best bosses that I ever had believed in me more than I believed in myself. He put me in situations where I was given updates to boards and leading projects that I thought were way out of my capabilities, and he believed in me. He was one of my best bosses ever. My best boss was successful when I was successful. So I often talk about rock bands and business work teams imploding, toxic environments. Why? Why would you have a toxic environment? Scarcity mentality. Teams and rock bands can absolutely have scarcity mentality. Bickering about who leads the team or the band, who has the title, who gets the credit. I often ask this question when I'm doing a presentation about EQ. I ask this question to the audience. Who is the lead singer of U2? Who is it? It's Bono. Okay, great. Most people know that. Who's the bass player? Anybody know who the bass player of U2 is? Anyone? It's Adam Clayton. So how has U2 been successful now for over 40 years? Abundance mentality, sharing the success together with abundance mentality. The abundance mentality of fame and fortune, where everybody can share. There's not enough recognition for everyone, right? We can share. Caroline Castrillo recently wrote in Forbes magazine, I believe it was last year, 2020 summer, 5 ways to go from scarcity to abundance mentality. 5 ways to go from scarcity to abundance mindset and mentality. Number 1, focus on what you have, not on what you don't have. Surround yourself with people who have and display an abundance mindset. Create win-win solutions. At least that mindset. Sometimes it's not possible, but that mindset going into is very much an abundance mindset. Incorporate gratitude into your life. Thankful for the people around you, for the accomplishments that you have made, and for the people that have helped you along the way. And the last one is train your brain to recognize the possibilities. What are the possibilities? Instead of being negative scarcity mentality, what does the abundance mindset say of what are the possibilities? So abundance mentality, hopefully this was helpful for you today. Abundance versus scarcity mentality. I'll leave you with these 3 things. Find what you do in life and what you are made and born to do, and do that to the best of your ability. Don't allow anyone or anything to steal your joy and your happiness. And number 3, live life every day, because nothing is guaranteed. So check out some Mike Roe and the 77's in the show notes. Hopefully it's helpful for you today. Live with an abundance mentality, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks.